Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Crystal, homeschooling mom to 3 girls, ages 9 months, 4 years, and 7 years. Here on my channel, I share things mostly related to mom life, homeschooling, family life, and faith. And today in this video, I'm going to be doing a review of our homeschooling curriculum, Classical Conversations. In this video, I want to share all the things that we love about Classical Conversations. To start out, it's good to know that we have only been into their first level of curriculum, Foundations. We started Classical Conversations when our oldest daughter turned 4. Not expectedly. I didn't know that she was going to be doing school that soon, but when we discovered Classical Conversations, we felt that it was right for her to begin when she did because of the way that Classical Conversations is developed. The Classical Conversations model is amazing. In the Classical Conversations curriculum, one of the things that I love is that it trains you as a parent in building you up in your role as the best teacher for your children. But it also gives you a depth of understanding of where the classical model comes from, how to apply it to your family, and where all the things are coming from in terms of how they approach learning and teaching your child. So it's split up into 3 different levels. They have grammar, dialect, and then rhetoric. In the grammar level, they focus on forming habits. And from there, they move into teaching your children how to ask good questions. And then in the rhetoric phase, they go into expressing truth. So that's kind of a breakdown in the phases of Classical Conversations. In this video, I'm going to be focusing on Foundations, as our oldest daughter is going into the 2nd grade, and we have done this 3 years. So we started when she was 4, and now we're going into the 2nd grade, and she is 7. So to start, I just want to share the heart of Classical Conversations and what I love about how their curriculum works. In the very beginning, they help you prepare as a parent with thinking through the heart of homeschooling in general. So they have you ask questions like, why are we doing it this way? Why memory work, right? But also they have you think through things like, how can I cultivate a child who loves God? How do I cultivate a child who thoughtfully listens? How about one who loves his neighbor and who loves learning? These things to me are of utmost importance. For us, that hit the nail on the head. But it takes you first through that destination. And then the curriculum explains a lot more in depth of what this first grammar phase means. And so again, that in the grammar phase, you're forming habits. And so they start to introduce many different subjects through 3 different cycles in the form of the best way that we remember things for long term. So they make it applicable through songs, through dancing, through whatever engaging ways that you can use to teach your child. And they kind of teach you how to do that. So they encourage reading aloud a lot. Review of memory work, you do it for about 30 minutes based on the curriculum and all the different memory points that they're giving you for each week. It's a set of specific memory points that you use, 1 memory fact for each of the 7 subjects introduced, and you're kind of drilling those in throughout the course of an entire week. So 1 fact per subject. They have you find connections to the memory work throughout your day. So if you're learning skip counting, you can skip count something in your home, or as you're at the grocery store, skip count the fruit. They want you to apply all of these things that you're learning in class and through the curriculum into your daily life so that it's very hands-on and very real to the student, right? Especially at these foundational levels, making things very applicable. So it's broken down into 3 different cycles. In cycle 1, you are learning ancient history and the sciences that go with that, and the fine arts. In cycle 2, you're learning medieval history and the sciences that apply to that. And then in cycle 3, you're learning national history and your US geography and the sciences that apply to that. So you do 1 cycle per year and you focus on the depths of those things in that cycle. So how Classical Conversation works though is that they will start you out in their curriculum with a year at a glance of all the things that you will learn for that year for math, Latin, science, English, timeline, history, geography, the different projects that you'll do through science experiments and just hands-on learning, and then also fine arts. And so it breaks down all 24 weeks that you learn for those subjects at a year at a glance. And then it breaks down memory work by week. So you have 24 weeks that you go throughout the year of classical conversations. And then in your foundations curriculum, it teaches you as a parent what are those memory facts that we're going to focus on for each of those 7 subjects each week, so that it's broken down in a simple format. And then you just spend 30 minutes a day, if that. Sometimes we do 30 minutes a day 4 times a week. And you review those memory facts that were introduced to you through the curriculum. I love that classical conversation covers so much ground in the amount of subjects that it covers by introducing the memory facts for each week, at the same time as leaving room for you to make it your own by incorporating and supplementing with other things along the way. So if it gives a history fact about a certain thing, we can as parents choose to incorporate different history lessons or a different history video or different things that go along to bring that particular memory fact to life. In the foundations level, I'm really enjoying that flexibility. I'm enjoying that it gives me a basis that's not too heavy, but that it gives me room to be able to expand on that at whatever level my child is ready for. And I think that's a beautiful aspect of classical conversations. Gives you the nuts and bolts, and then you can cover that in memory form through a very fun way, through games and different things suggested on your own. And then you can take that to whatever level you want by adding in things that you think would be most applicable and the best received for your family and your student. I've heard it said that it's a lot of rote memory and different things like that. And that can be true if that's all you want to do with it, is just the memory work. However, for me, I've enjoyed using the memory work as a basis and knowing that I'm at least covering that ground. And then when I have time, or when it's appropriate, or when it's necessary, or where there's interest in my child, I can take that opportunity and dive deeper into whichever memory fact and subject that particular week is covering. And there are lots of different things out there and avenues to include fun ways to encourage whatever memory fact you're learning. And so I've found that that flexibility and that framework has worked really well for our family. But one of the best parts about classical conversations is that it's not just curriculum, it is community. And so one day a week, you're meeting with a community where you will have morning assembly, and you will do pledges to the flag, to the American flag, to the Christian flag, to the Bible, and you meet as a community, all the students and families included. Then you break out for classes that are no larger than 8 students in each class, and classical conversations is big on parents as lead learners. And so the most beautiful thing about homeschooling in general, but particularly in classical conversations that I have enjoyed, is that you're learning alongside your students. And so in the classes that you break out to, of groups of up to 8 students and their parents who sit in class with them, there is a parent tutor who is leading the class in ways to learn the material that is being introduced that week. And these are very fun, engaging ways through songs and tunes that are already kind of memorized in our minds. So we break down the learning and applying those different memory facts to tunes. Maybe we'll draw some interesting pictures or play some fun games to review and kind of drill in all the things that we're learning. On community days, we play lots of games, we sing lots of songs, we have lots of fun and play. And then we take another half an hour to do a hands-on science experiment, drilling down more of the science memory work that we're learning, and another 30 minutes for fine arts, where we're learning rhythm and reading music. We are learning about different artists and different composers and artwork and how to do those portions of art. So you're doing hands-on art, hands-on science, you're learning about music, you're learning about composers, in a very fun way with other kids your age, other families. Also, one other aspect that brings out their confidence at a very early age is that whenever you meet as a community, you're giving presentations. And so they're learning, starting at age 4, how to get in front of a group of people, introduce themselves, and share something of their choice with the group. And it teaches them confidence of speaking in front of people, sharing their thoughts, which is a start for just a healthy and confident basis for engaging with everyone around them as they go through different phases of life. We really enjoy presentations and that feature of Classical Conversations and Community Day. In addition to that, we have a time where we break out in lunch, and we have lunch together, and that's where you get to just do open community together. Ask all the questions, do all the laughing, review together. The kids just get to play and have fun. But this is so important. When we had our first year of Classical Conversations, I remember being amazed and even brought to happy tears with how beautiful the community was. We had moved during that summer, and the community that we developed through Classical Conversations, they were the ones that jumped up to help us move, gifting us different yard tools that we needed and didn't have. They really just jumped in as a life friend and community, and in a really special way. Over and above just having each other to learn from, to ask questions off of. This worked for me, did it work for you? Or this isn't working for me, what's working for you guys? It was great to have an avenue to do that. In addition to their curriculum and the in-person meeting, Classical Conversations has a resource called CC Connected, where parents can upload and share all different kinds of ways that they've introduced the materials and things that they've created that have worked well for their families. And Classical Conversations itself provides videos, tutorials, even like homeschool packets and worksheets to apply all the memory work that you're learning that week. Very, very resourceful things. Even in addition to that, they are giving you as a parent articles and lessons learned and teaching tips on how to do this with excellence. And they provide you with these tools and resources. They also have an annual practicum, parent and teacher practicum, for coming together for a day or two and kids camp while you're learning, or you don't have to bring your kids, you could just go yourself, where they give you lessons to grow as a parent, to grow as a teacher, and even on a spiritual level, they're sharing stories and testimonies, and you can see all the things and the levels brought to life for yourself as a homeschooling teacher. Practicums are amazing. They bring in their curriculums, different books and read alouds that they suggest, different maps and table placemats, all the things they bring to practicum. They also have an online bookstore that you can use as a resource, but very, very resourceful time. Practicums that come with this education. I love that they don't just throw you a book, but they provide you with resources to help walk through this with you. In addition to that, they have an app that you can download on your phone that has pictures and words and songs already included with it. So if you're on the go, you can take your learning on the go through your phone or your tablet, whatever you're using. As an aid to teaching, they also have CDs that are included, which review all of the curriculum that's in your curriculum in a CD format. So while you're driving, you can just listen to it. We use that a lot in our first couple years of CC because we were going to and from ballet lessons or swim lessons or just different extracurricular things. And it was very helpful to just have that on the go. And we would do our Classical Conversations 30-minute school lesson in the car sometimes, which was huge, very helpful to be able to do. Even if you're not on the go though, you could play those CDs at home, and it's very helpful to have that to where if you don't want to open the book every time that you're doing the lesson, you can just listen to it. Classical Conversations just has so many resources. YouTubers out there, Pinterest, there is a whole world of resources that are available to people who use Classical Conversations. Our kids have thrived on this. And when I say kids, I mean kids. Our first started at 4 years old and now is 7, so she just had her 3rd year. But even though our youngest, who's now 4, has never been a part of the program, she already knows her skip counting, lots of history statements, and different things that we've learned throughout the year just from hearing her sister sing the songs, have fun reviewing it. She's just learned along the way, and it's been so fun to have this as a curriculum and a base that we can all do together and have fun learning. So I do think that this is a curriculum that helps you cultivate a love of learning, a love of God, and a confident understanding that we live to learn, to know God and to make Him known, and equips you with all the ways to do that. So we have thoroughly enjoyed learning with Classical Conversations and would recommend it to everyone in a heartbeat. For us personally, I saw the effectiveness of it from age 4 when I first went to an orientation, and I was a little overwhelmed when I saw the level of information they were learning at a 4-year-old age, because whether you're 4 or 6 or 8, you're learning the same memory work. And so when I saw that and I was seeing that they were learning about Greek gods and the math, depth that they were covering, I even for myself was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not a history buff. I don't even know these things. I don't think I can teach it. We decided to go for it anyways. And boy, am I glad that we did, because when I realized the way that we're learning and how engaging it is, it was not as complicated and difficult as I was making learning to be all through my life, even as I was through school. And I loved learning. But with Classical Conversations, I saw that my daughter was retaining information and able to recite things back to me that I was amazed by. Not just our 4, 5, 6-year-old daughter as she went through all those ages, but our preschooler. And so I really quickly learned the effectiveness of the style of Classical Conversation, how they make learning fun through dance, through song, through writing, coloring, all the engaging ways that they make even kinesthetic learners, they make it applicable and engageable. And we found it to be super effective for our children, and we can't be more happy with what we've seen in all that our kids have learned so far. So we're excited to continue with Classical Conversations and to share it with anybody who is interested. You can always also check out they do orientations in any community, wherever you live. They're all around the world. But if you're interested in orientation, you can always go look online and see where is there a community that is going through a sample of what it's like. I encourage you to check that out. One of the other things I love about their curriculum is in the back of each cycle, they do have maps that are already included, as well as different resources to explain what you're learning. They also include scripture passages that you're learning with each cycle, and also translating those into Latin. They're learning complete passages as a group through the curriculum. Basically, it's a very well-rounded curriculum that covers so much ground, and we have really enjoyed it. I hope that gives you a good idea of what Classical Conversations is like. It covers so much ground, it's hard to put it all into one video, but I hope that was somewhat helpful and a review on what we love about Classical Conversations. And if you're interested in any other curriculum reviews, like what we use to supplement math, language arts, or Bible, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos as I review the master books curriculum choices we used for our first grader for those subjects. If you have any questions or comments related to Classical Conversations that I can help with, I'd be happy to share. I always say that sharing as parents is one of our best resources, and so please do not hesitate to leave a comment or a question or thoughts. I would love to hear from you. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.